from solvigon.
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, most people think problem solving is just, following a checklist, but it's kind of like the creativity is where the real breakthroughs happen. What's your take on it? You think it's more about a logic or the creative side? And
Yes.
I mean, guessing you're leaning towards the creative side, or maybe you're thinking it's a bit of both. What's the vibe?
Okay. Give me a question on the topic the role of creativity in problem solving. English. Yes, I am starting now
Gotcha.
because there is a network problem. So
No worries, it happens.
yes, give
Just
me
take
a
your time.
question only. Give me a
Whenever you're ready,
question in English. 20-minute talk.
you can. All right, let's do it. Here's a
Okay.
starter for you.
Yes.
Do you think being too creative can actually, get in the way of solving a problem quickly,
I
or is it
want
always an
to
advantage?
discuss a question. Sesame, give me a 20 question. The topic: the role of creativity in problem solving.
Sal, 20's a lot, man. Ooh, let's not turn this into a test.
What does
How about I give you
creativity
one real?
mean in the context of problem solving?
In this context, it's kind of like not just following the manual. It's about looking at a problem and seeing a path that isn't obvious. Like instead of just fixing a leak with tape, you figure out a way to redesign the pipe so it never leaks again. It's basically just thinking outside the box to find a more elegant solution.
Why is creativity important when solving real life problems?
Because real life is messy, you know? It's not like a textbook where there's one right answer in the back. And, you know, most real world problems have a bunch of weird variables and constraints. So if you only use a standard approach, you'll just hit a wall. Creativity lets you pivot when the obvious way fails.
Okay. Can all problem be solved using logic alone or is creativity always necessary?
Honestly, logic is great for the simple stuff, but for the big, complicated things, nah. Logic can tell you why something is broken, but it doesn't always tell you how to fix it in a new way. And creativity is what fills the gaps where logic just runs out.
How does creative thinking differ from analytical thinking?
Analytical thinking is kind of like breaking something down into tiny pieces to see how it works. It's very linear. Creative thinking is more about putting those pieces together in a way that's never been done before. One is about dissecting, the other is about building.
What are some real life examples where creativity solved a difficult problem?
Think about something like urban gardening. People had a problem where they had no land but wanted food, so they just, started growing stuff on roofs or in old shipping containers, or even in business, like how some companies realized they could solve the shipping delay by just changing the entire way they package their products. It's usually when someone says, "Wait, why I can do it this way?"
How can or limitations sometimes increase creativity in problem solving?
It's kind of weird, but when you've got everything you need, you just coast. But when you're backed into a corner or have zero budget, you're forced to get scrappy. Limitations act like a guardrail that pushes you to find a shortcut or a hack you would have totally ignored if things were easy.
Okay, what role does imagination play in finding solution?
Imagination is basically the sandbox. It's where you can simulate a bunch of different scenarios in your head without actually breaking anything in the real world. You can basically test drive a solution before you even spend a dime or a minute trying it out.
Can creativity be learned or is it an inborn skill?
I'm a firm believer that it can be learned. I mean, some people might have a natural lean toward it, sure, but it's more like a muscle. If you keep challenging yourself to look at things differently or try new ways of doing things, you just get better at it. It's a habit. not just a gift.
How does teamwork influence creative problem solving?
It's kind of like a catalyst. When you're on your own, you're stuck with your own blind spots. But in a team, someone else might see a detail you completely missed. You could bounce an idea off them, they tweak it, and suddenly you've got something way better than what either of you would have come up with alone. It's all about that collective brainstorming.
What are barriers that stop people from thinking creativity?
Fear is a huge one. Most people are just terrified of looking stupid or being wrong, so they stick to the safe answer. And then you've got that mindset of this is how we've always done it, which is basically the death of creativity. It's just mental rigidity.
How does fear of failure affect creativity in problem solving?
It basically kills the mood. If you're scared of failing, you're only going to suggest things you're 100% sure will work, which means you're not actually being creative, you're just being safe. Real creativity requires a bit of risk. If you can't handle the possibility of a bad idea, you'll never hit the brilliant one.
What techniques can be used to improve creative thinking skills?
There are a few good ones. Mind mapping is a classic for seeing connections. Or something like reverse brainstorming, where instead of asking how to solve a problem, you ask, how could I make this problem way worse? Once you start doing it, the solutions for fixing it pop out.
How does brainstorming help in
The
generating
brain,
creative solution?
it's all about the quantity over quality at first. When you just throw every single idea at the wall, even the ones that sound completely insane, it it breaks the tension. If you once the silly ideas are out there, people stop filtering themselves, and that's usually when the actually innovative stuff starts to surface.
Can too much structure reduce creativity in solving problem?
Totally. Too much structure is like a cage. If you've got a rigid set of rules for every single step, you're not actually solving the problem, you're just filling out a form. It kills the spontaneity. You need some room to breathe and just mess around a bit if you want to find something new.
How does experience influence creative problem solving abilities?
Experience gives you the raw materials. You can't really connect dots if you don't have any dots to work with. So the more you've seen and done, the more patterns you recognize. It lets you say, "Hey, this is kind of like that one time when," and then you apply an old solution to a new problem in a fresh way.
How does experience influence creative okay. What is the rule of curiosity in developing creative solution?
Curiosity is the engine. If you
Curiosity.
aren't curious, you just accept things as they are. But when you're actually curious, you start asking why and what if, which is where the creative spark comes from. It's basically the drive to keep digging until you find a better way.
How do innovative thinkers approach problem differently from others?
Innovative thinkers usually don't just look at the problem, they question the problem itself. While most people are trying to find the fastest way to the finish line, an innovative thinker is wondering if the finish line is even in the right place. They're more comfortable with the messy phase and don't rush to the first answer they find.
How can school or workplace encourage creative problem solving?
By making it safe to fail, if a boss or a teacher shuts down an idea because it's weird or wrong, people just stop trying. You've got to reward the effort of thinking differently, even if the result isn't perfect. Basically, just stop penalizing mistakes and start valuing the hustle of experimenting.
How can you personally apply creative thinking in your daily life problem?
I try to just lean into the what if. Like if I'm stuck on something, I'll intentionally try the most ridiculous approach first, just to see where it leads. It's kind of like a mental reset. Um, it keeps things from getting stale and usually leads me to a solution I would have totally missed if I was just being logical.
Okay, very thankful you give me a time. We will come again on new topic for the next time.
Anytime. It was a good chat. Catch you later.
Yes.
Take it easy.